you. But like I said, the structure part, is key. Is key because these kids know when you're flying by the seat of your pants, and they're just not gonna, I don't know, they're just not gonna feel practice that day because, hey, coach doesn't know what he's doing. Well, then why should I? All right? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Ryan made some great points there, and like you said, the big thing is about being structured. And obviously, not all of us have a prep period like he does during the day. Okay, and that's maybe why I just kind of figured out why he's so good at it, because he has prep periods and all that. And I have like 55 jobs now, and a couple of kids that are very young, and but absolutely, just have something jotted down so you have an idea, and the more people you get around you, the better off you are. And before I go further, Coach Rogers just stuck him back there, our AD. Again, I was already talking good about you. Like I said, between Bob and Steve, not to bash that other place I came from, but these guys are unbelievable. They make my job so much easier. And that being said, this is kind of what Ryan was just touching on. If you get other guys with you, well, girls, of course, but it's just the more you get around you, the more people get around you, just to do jobs. And that's, as I came in here, that's why I surrounded myself with some great people. I mean, I'm very, very fortunate to have 7 guys, and like I said, 3 are paid, so, and it's just the way to do things, and just have a couple things jotted down. Like you said, keep it real and keep it going. Ryan was talking about some of the things. Steve's going to get into a couple of little things here, a couple of drills and all that. And remember, if you're with the 4- and 5-year-olds as opposed to the 12-year-olds, the drill's going to be a little easier. We're talking about 4 corners. What he meant by that was you got a guy hitting fungos to the third baseman. The third baseman just throws it back to him, okay? You got another guy behind him hitting to the shortstop. You got a guy on this side hitting to the first baseman. You got another one hitting to the second baseman. Obviously, at the lower levels, don't even try it. All right, try 2 coaches, 1 hit to one side, 1 hit to the other. Even put them in one line in between the third base and shortstop or first and second. But the repetition of getting the ground balls and doing all this stuff, not being afraid of the ball and all that, and using incredibles with little guys, and anything to make it easier so they're not afraid and they get through the routines and all that. But the structure is absolutely key. Again, these guys make me look good. They make my life easy because, we come in, like Steve saw someone come in, he's already back there. Here you go, you get your sheets and all this, and it's very, very important. And like I said, the kids will definitely know. Obviously you can improvise a little bit and all that. You got to do that. But just have some kind of plan going in every day. And it was a great job by Coach Cadres. Next, Coach Swinhart is going to talk a little bit about just some basic drills. And should I get out of the way if you got the back door? Yeah, I'll catch it. Yeah. But just some basic drills. And again, at the end, we'll do the question and answers. That's really the part. We want to touch on some of the basics and all that kind of stuff. But I think the end part is going to be a big part tonight. And going forward, like I said, we'll always be available to answer any questions you guys have. All right, Steve Swinhart.
Hi, I'm going to talk mainly about some hitting drills and stuff. And it's mainly working with tees and doing what we call soft toss. There's also a term we use called short toss. And these are things that you can have the players doing on the side while you're doing infield practice or live hitting at the plate, things like that. This keeps the other kids involved. Generally, if you're fortunate enough to have 16 on the team, what I usually do is we'll take 4 teams of 4, and we'll have 4 kids hitting tees behind the backstop. We'll have the other 4 kids on a team will be in the infield, the other 4 will be in the outfield, and the final 4 will be at the plate hitting live pitching. So everybody's getting some repetition. If you can get these, even the age you people do, if you can get them to do 100 swings at a practice, that's only going to improve their hitting for sure. When I was coaching at Silver Lake, I was coaching with Coach Rogers, and one year we were, 250 swings a day they were getting? We had 4 cages going, we had a bunting station with a pitching machine. I mean, they were getting 250 swings a day. And if I'm not mistaken, that year the team hit 37 home runs. And Coach Rogers never found out for sure, but he thinks it's a state record. We had, I think, 7 different players hit 37 home runs. And they were getting 250 swings a day, whether it was from tee, whether it was from soft toss, whether it was from the iron mics or whatever. So repetition is what you really need. Coach Cat just talked about 4 corners, and that's getting the fielding repetition. That's getting, you know, if you can get 100 ground balls a day, that's only going to improve these guys, okay? I'm going to start with the tees. And correct me if I'm wrong, but in the pros, in the major leagues, they have these tees down in the hitting areas at major league ballparks. Even the major league ball players will work off tees as well. The biggest mistake that most people make with tees is when you buy a tee, where is the tee? It's right in the center of the plate. Okay? What happens is you get young kids up there, they'll stand right straight on, they'll go to hit it, and almost every single time they'll be going that way. What you try to want to get the kids to learn to teach them is to hit the ball in front of the plate if you can. It's kind of hard because it's not in front of the plate, but try to get them to back up a little bit so that they're hitting the ball out in front of the plate. Coach Graham will go through how the hitting techniques. Once you learn the hitting techniques, that's when you bring it to the tee to do all the work. So try to get it out front if you can, and have them practice. Hit it into the backstop or fence, if you can do that, of course. Some fields that you might go to might have batting cages that are net. Have them outside the net, hitting into it, so you can use that as well. The main concept is to get these kids to hit the ball, not knock the tee over, okay, and get it like straight into the net, not up over it or under it. You want to try to get them to hit a line drive right in the middle. So the main purpose of the tee is to practice their swings, which they will learn from you how to swing properly, but to get them to hit the ball straight into the net and try not to hit this. Another big mistake that we see a lot is that the ball is up too high. For tee work, this ball is probably too high for me. You probably want it probably about thigh high on these. Now, if you can't afford tees or you can't get tees, Home Depot and places like that sell those, you know, the orange cones. Yeah. Those work pretty well too. So you get something like that if you can, okay? So that's the main idea with tees. Just try to keep it out front and get it down low so that they can hit it, you know, all the kids can hit them up here. That's usually no problem. So if they get it down right into the about thigh high is the best way. You can work it with 2 boys or 2 players. One will hit, the other one will stand over here and just keep putting the balls on for them. So you can go quickly like that. Okay. Any questions with that one? Oh, I'm going to talk about soft toss. No, I got.
Oh, you got Coach I. Look, see, this is like a good guy.
We'll pretend this is the plate. This is soft toss. So all soft toss is softly tossing the ball up into the strike zone so that they can hit it just like if it was on the tee. Okay? Don't swing, of course. As a coach, get over here at an angle. Sometimes it's even better to get out front, but with the age group you're doing, I'd stay back here. Okay? The main problem that you have with this is, and I'll show you what I'm doing, is when I go to throw the ball, 2 things that you can do wrong, which doesn't help the kid at all. First of all, is throwing it at him. If you throw it at him, he's never going to hit it. And if he does hit it, it's going to come right back at you. So you want to, again, put it out in front of the base. Usually what I usually try to tell the kids is try to aim for the front foot so that when you just throw it up there, it's right in front of the base, right in front of the plate, all right? The other thing that a lot of kids do, and of course coaches do this if they're not properly taught, is they'll do this. And that's totally useless to throw the ball up high like that. So what I like to try to teach the kids is just a little lob, and you want to almost try to hit their front foot with it. So you just lay it out there like that. Okay? And you can teach the kids how to do this. The other beauty thing about this is if you only get an hour practice, these kids can do this at home with their parents or with a next door neighbor or something like that. If they got a fence or something nearby, they can practice this just as easy. So you can do it off the field as well as while you're at the plate. So the main thing is, generally what we do is the guy throwing would have like 5 balls. And you just 1, 2, just lay them up there. Okay?
You see that when coach is doing that too, all right, big part of it, you notice every time he's doing the same thing, he's doing this here. When he's doing that there, he's simulating the pitcher breaking his hands so that the batter can get his timing too. All right, so that's, if you wonder why people do that, again, we never assume we know anything, and we don't assume our kids know any of this stuff either. It's because if you assume it, then that's your fault if they don't know. So that's just simulating the pitcher breaking his hands, which Vinny will talk about a little bit.
So, you know, if you have a team at the field, utilize it. Let the kids, you know, be doing that while the other kids are doing their things. And soft toss is a very good thing to do. Sometimes you go down as a parent even, and you got a bucket of balls, go down to the field, go to home plate, and just set them up there, and just throw the whole bucket like that. And just let them get their timing, get their swing down, so muscle memory. Right? Mm-hmm. The next thing that a little more trickier is what we call short toss. And what short toss is, the batter's at the plate, you're about 20, 25 feet out in front. You gotta have a net, okay? If there's an L screen close by, grab it, use it, that's the best way to do it. But the best way to do soft toss, short toss, is like sit on the bucket, so you're down low, and all you're doing is you're just sitting there, and you're just throwing strikes. Not hard, you just lob them in, and they're just hitting the, you know, like it's as close to live pitching as you'll get, of course. So basically, that's soft toss. Sorry, short toss. All right. One of the things that we like to do, that I used to do when I coached the younger kids and stuff, was we'd have what's called a hitting game, and we'd, you know, split the kids up into two teams. One team would be in the field, one team at the plate. At the plate, you're going to either do tee off the plate, you're going to do soft toss off the plate. Again, get a net. I got burnt once, and that was because the kid swung the bat and hit it, and he threw it back and caught me in the face with it. Joey Giannis.
Don't forget those names.
Huh?
Played at Harvard, was a pretty smart kid.
Yeah, I know. And so, you know, get in the net if you can for that soft toss part of it. And, of course, you can do short toss with it as well. There's no running involved, so once they hit it, they don't run. I would still put a helmet on, just to be on the safe side. Backswing with the bat, they might hit themselves, who knows. But basically what we do is we have the field out there, and you get the ball to the batter, he hits it. If he hits a ground ball, fair, and it goes by the runners, by the fielders, like in a hole or something like that, his team gets one run. If he hits a fly ball and it lands on the outfield grass in front of the outfielders, he gets 2 runs. If he hits a fly ball in the gap or over their heads, he gets 3 runs. If you have a fence, he gets a home run, you give him 5 runs. It's kind of a game they could play. You give them 6 outs, so it's a regular game situation for the defense. You give them 6 outs, and then you switch up. Oh yeah, if you hit a ground ball to the third baseman, he comes up with the ball and he throws it away, we call that a wash. It's not a run, it's not an out. In your cases with the younger kids, you might be there a while, so you might want to just do 3 outs, but that's not how you judge it, okay? Just to keep it going. One quick last thing that we do, that, we try to do, and Coach Graham says it was a great idea. We got away from it. I'm 62 years old, and when I was a kid, this is all we ever did, and it was called pepper, play pepper. A lot of people don't even know what that means. But pepper is usually with 4 kids, could be 5, and you have a batter, and you...
I'm playing pepper.
When you have pepper, you have the batter there, he gets in his stance, and you ask him to choke up, because you want a medium swing out of him. If you have him down on the handle, he tries to swing too softly, or if he swings too hard, of course, he'll crush it. So you try to choke up a little bit, and the 4 guys are lined up across here. So it's 1, 2, 3, and I'm number 4. I've got the ball, I just throw it like that. It's always overhand, you never throw it underhand. He hits the ball. He hits a ground ball. Number 2 bobbles it. Number 2 becomes 4, I become 3, number 3 becomes 2, and 1 stays there. Okay? So you just keep going in rotation. As soon as the batter swings and misses a ball, or hits a pop-up that you catch, whoever catches it gets to go up, everybody moves up 1 number. It's just a little game to play. Kids like to do it, it's fun. It's giving him some hand-eye coordination for hitting, and it's giving these guys their fielding. So it's kind of a combination.
They have to know how hard to hit, though. They have to.
Thanks, Joe.
Thomas.